Hello everybody, this is Rue back again with another figure review. I'm sorry I've been on a kind of a hiatus since I actually recently moved and all my figures and figure boxes have been kind of scattered everywhere, so I kind of had trouble finding everything and getting everything together. But now I've kind of been slowly I don't want to bore you with that's boring stuff. Anyways, today we're looking at Star Wars variant Playarts Kai Darth Vader. I've been waiting for this figure a long time, and I've had it a long time. I've been waiting to review it. I've just never had a chance to. And as you can see, the box is kind of tattered and messy. And you would think that's because of the age of this figure and all that junk. But no, actually, I got it from a Chinese distributor on eBay distributor, and it kind of came like that. So it's kind of a hit and miss when you order from Chinese manufacturers in on eBay especially. But other than that, the figure came in good condition, so I didn't worry too much about it. Anyway, as you can probably tell, I got the China version, like I just said. If you like to see two other Chinese Playarts Kai figures that I reviewed, you can look at my older videos. But enough about that. Let's take a look at the actual box. You can see Darth Vader in his new kind of Square Enix kind of design. Got the logo, shiny Playarts logo there. On the side, it's just logos. Star Wars logo. On the back, we've got, it's a big box. On the back, we've got product shots of how the different poses you can get in the figure into. Some Japanese text, Square Enix, and on the top, as you can see right here, the box is kind of tattered up here as well. And on the top, it's just a nice picture of planets and stuff. On the bottom, nothing much, and Disney right there. And on the inside, it's a flap. The figure would be in there, but I already took it out. You get a nice Death Star kind of picture there, and you can get a read-up of Darth Vader if you'd like to pause that and look at it. So it's a really nice box. I would have preferred if it wasn't destroyed, but there's nothing you can do about it when you get the Chinese version. So yeah, so let's take a look at the figure inside and all the accessories it comes with. And here is Darth Vader out of his packaging, and as you can see here, he looks menacing. He looks amazing. I like how they designed him. They gave him not so much of a, they didn't make him so much different that we wouldn't recognize him, but they also changed a few things just to give us a new figure, new look on Darth Vader. As you can see, he's got newly molded chest pieces. He's got a new helmet piece with lines and all sorts of designs on him. He's got new armor on his legs. He's got this weird new cape and belt, and it just looks all tattered to make it look even more evil. He comes with new gloves, kind of armor looking as well, and just overall it looks magnificent. Just awesome. And the back looks cool too as well. There's a lot of good molding and paint on this figure. It just looks awesome. Now, one thing you can't see is he's kind of hard to stand. His joints are kind of loose on this one, but if you fiddle enough with him, he looks decent enough. Now, before we get deeper into this figure review, let's look at the accessories he comes with. As I said before, Darth Vader comes with a decent amount of accessories, those being the two fisted hands right there. He comes with a pair of open palmed hands, which look really good. They have a lot of detail in them and nice texture and sculpting on them. They look really cool. Look at that. So yeah, he comes with a pair of open palm hands. He comes with a pair of lightsaber grabbing hands, like the clenched hands, or whatever you want to call it, grabby hands. I gotta say, for a Chinese figure, I'm actually quite impressed. He comes with a force choke hand, or force hand, which you can use so that he can repel people or do whatever he wants, or choke them, the life out of them if my camera focuses. Yep. And he also comes with a sort of fire force kind of hand. I'm not really sure. I guess it's the force if it was colorized. And it's really nice. It's just I'm not really sure what it is he's holding. Is it fire? I guess they made the force fire or whatever. He's got elemental powers, but it is very nice. It's translucent, but it also has a kind of metal sheen to it, which is just awesome. I like having this on him when I pose him. He comes with a lightsaber, like always. He should always come with his lightsaber, and it's pretty good detail on it, I guess. Mine's is kind of warped. Like I said, with Chinese versions, you're not going to get the best quality here. The paint is kind of off, but it is pretty good for what I paid for. And the detail's all there. It's nicely sculpted. It's got the switch there for the on and off. And it's nicely painted with a silver metallic kind of paint. And yeah. The only thing I would have to say I didn't like about this, well, besides the warpage, is the blade itself. I would have preferred it to be all red instead of this kind of effect they gave to make it look like it was lighted up. I would have preferred just a plain red, or even a translucent kind of red, because this looks kind of weird. Kind of reminds me of a candy cane or something. But that's just a small complaint. I'm just finding things to complain about on this figure. And finally, it comes with a lightsaber swinging effect lightsaber, and it comes with a hand that's already molded in there, so you can't really take this off and use it with his left hand. But it looks nice. I actually like this one better, but I don't like posing him with it because it's just too heavy. It's really, really heavy. Really heavy, so it kind of knocks him down sometimes, but it's good. I mean, it's a nice little bonus there. They didn't have to include it. And yeah, so those are his accessories. Let's take a closer look at Darth Vader himself. Looking closer at this figure, you can see there's a lot of detail and nice paint work here. His helmet has some bluish hues to it, so that it can seem like there's shadowy effects. And you probably can't tell because this camera kind of sucks, but there's a lot of blue. There's brown on his eyes. They're not just black. They've got some brownish paint to make it look like it's highlighted. There's nice silver paint. Everything is painted nice, especially for the version that I got, because there's 3 versions. There's the Select, the Variant, and the Chinese. I got the Chinese, which doesn't always guarantee nice paint applications, and there's few problems with the joints and the molding. But I think I got pretty lucky in terms of paint, because there's not much splotchage going around. You can see some nice gradients on his armor. His pauldrons are very nicely painted and sculpted. He's got a nice belt right here. He's got the respirator, which looks really good. The paint isn't splotching or anything. And let's just look at the back really quick. There's some nice gradients on his back as well. It's kind of a silver paint with black airbrushing and brown airbrushing on there. You can see right there. And you can see the back also, the cape moves. And there's some nice details here as well. And yeah, his belt's nicely detailed. He's got these little armor plates here. There's a lot of gradients, a bluish gray here, which you can lift up and you can see the Dark Master's butt, which is terrible actually, because you can see a lot of joints there. Unfortunately, with the Chinese version, you never know what you're gonna get. But there's a lot of nice sculpting here on his legs as well. They didn't have to go like that far, but they did anyway. I mean, for the amount you're paying. His boots are nicely sculpted as well. There's some nice paint on here as well. Gradients, gray to black here. He's got some nice silver here. Some new armor pieces here. His crotch piece is on a separate piece as well. And his arms are fairly painted as well. They've got gradients again. And his armor pieces look cool. Okay, so let's closed up there a bit. Let's take a look at his articulation, which is where the problems are gonna start. for my figure at least. If you decide to get the select version, you're not going to have a problem with articulation. Because on mine, some of the joints are very, very loose. As you can probably tell, his head is on a ball joint. It can move forwards, backwards, up and down. But as soon as I try to turn it over there, it's going to fall off. I already know it's going to do it. He can't really turn to his side because of the back here. It's just too hindered by that neck piece. He does have a neck joint, which is right there, but you see as soon as I push him back too much, his head falls right off. Maybe the ball peg is too thick for this hole, but it just will not fit. That being said, he can go up and down and move left and right and tilt left and right. But yeah, you're not going to get much pose out of his head, really. You can get some pretty standard poses, but I wouldn't risk it with this figure. His arms can go in and out, kind of on a butterfly joint here. He's got a biceps swivel, does he? Yes, he does. He's got double jointed, but they don't really go all the way, and I don't want to force it to. Oh, it hit the thing. His hands can rotate and can go up and down, I think. Yeah, they can go up and down and rotate. They're on the same ball hinge kind of thing that all the other Playarts Kai figures are on. He's got a bicep, not a bicep, he's got a ab crunch, which works alright. But again, a problem with this figure is that he's got too many pieces and they all get caught on things, because this is not made of hard plastic. This is made of like soft plastic, really soft. So if you move him the wrong way, it's going to get caught in the plastic. So you've got to be careful with that. But he does have an ab crunch, which doesn't seem to work really. Okay. So his ab crunch doesn't really work that much. And if you tilt him too much, you see all these nasty workings of the figure that you don't want to see. I kind of don't like that. But his arms are on a nice ratchet. They go forwards, backwards. You can do a full 60, I think, 360 kind of thing. And he does have a waist, so he can go. You can move it, but as you can see there, his cod piece or whatever, his what is it? His loin piece here keeps getting, his crotch armor keeps getting caught on all these joints, which is a shame because look, you just gotta be careful with that. His legs can go up this much, they can go back some, but I wouldn't do it too much because again, they keep getting caught in this piece right here. So you gotta be very careful with this rubber piece, and it's so fragile, it feels like it's gonna break. But it could be because I've got the China version. If you get the select, I'm sure these problems will not happen. I hope. I really hope, because it's just kind of frustrating when you're trying to pose him. His legs can rotate. His thigh. He's got double jointed knees. Like so, on a nice ratchet joint. Can they turn? No. I wouldn't try to. Anyways, he's got a ball jointed ankle kind of thing. They can go down, up, and they can tilt. And he's got a boot, kind of a toe rotation, which really doesn't, it's kind of weird. It's like, why would you add that but not toe articulation to move him up? It's kind of weird. And his capes are also on ball joints. You can pose those freely, but I would not try to without a stand. And as you know, Playarts stands kind of are trash. You'd think they'd give you a better one with the price you paid for these things. So I'm kind of frustrated with this figure. And another thing is that his feet do weird things. Let me just move this up a bit. If you move his feet in certain ways, it look like they're like broken. His feet look like they're broken. And the problem with this figure is that his feet are weirdly sculpted as well. Sorry. There's an arch which really doesn't give him support when he's standing. The arches don't let him stand straight. He'll just fall if you don't pose him right. So it's kind of frustrating getting him into good poses when you've got to worry about the cod piece, not the cod piece, the crotch armor, got to worry about his feet looking weird because of this weird kind of, they're kind of warped, and his ab crunch doesn't really work all that well. And keep in mind, I'm talking about the China version. Again, the Select might not have these problems, but just as a quick comparison, here he is with the two other China Playarts Kai figures that I've already reviewed. It's Playarts Kai Spider-Man and Playarts Kai Venom. And you can watch those in my older videos. Just go to my channel, they'll be there. And the size is kind of weird. Spider-Man seems to be the tallest one, but he's not supposed to be. Keep in mind that his knees are bent a little bit, but still, he's almost the same size as Spider-Man. He's supposed to be huge. So it's kind of, the scale's kind of weird here, and Darth Vader looks really short compared to them. He's supposed to be like really tall because of the legs. So I don't know what's going on with the whole scale here, but I wish he'd be a little bit taller than Spider-Man. Yeah. And here he is with two select Playarts Kai figure, Playarts Kai Sora and Playarts Kai Roxas. I've also reviewed those. You can take a look at my older videos if you'd like. And they scale a lot better than Spider-Man and Venom because they're actually pretty short, but not as short as I think they would be. But still, they look pretty good together. Overall, I think it's a great figure if you can overlook those minor complaints that I had. Well, they're not minor, they're actually kind of big. The cod piece getting caught, made of soft rubber plastic or whatever it is. The weird joints that are kind of weirdly proportioned, and just overall the strange articulation that it has. If you can look past that, it's a really great figure to have. You can get him to pose as long as you don't, if you know how to pose, because if I were to breathe a little bit harder, he would fall over just because this thing is very heavy. But maybe it's just my figure because I'm getting the Chinese version, which is a lot cheaper. It was about $40 to $50 on eBay, as opposed to $200 for the Select. But I would definitely go for the Select if you have the money. If you don't, the $40 is okay. It's not bad. But yeah, this is the end of my review. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to. And stay tuned for more, because I've got more figures coming up. And now that I have my setup, kind of permanent setup, I can bring out more reviews. So yeah, thanks for watching.